Caterina wants every woman to know that she matters and that she has massive value to bring. Caterina is a woman on a mission to uplift the lives of women everywhere through thriving entrepreneurship. She is an author, sought after speaker, podcaster, and business transformation coach who passionately shows women how to be strategic and sell with integrity. Her over 25 years of educating and empowering makes her truly masterful at providing a ton of value. Her books include Learn to Think Differently from Watkins Publishing, released in several countries and different languages, A Woman's Guide to Starting a Giving Circle, and her latest book, The ABCs of Public Speaking, which quickly hit #1 in 4 Amazon bestseller categories. Caterina is also the founder of the Thriving Women in Business Center in San Francisco, a place for women to gather and host workshops. Plus, she also started Thriving Women in Business Giving, which raises money for women and girls' education and entrepreneurship training. Yes, absolutely. All right, Caterina, are you ready? Come on
Yes.
down.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Today, my focus with you is how to bliss more in your business. I've been doing my thing now for almost 30 years in my current business. My first business was I owned a cafe, an Italian cafe called Angelina's on a sunny corner with umbrellas outside, and people would come in all day long for espresso beverages in the morning and sandwiches and salads at lunch. And in the evening, they'd swing by and get some lasagna or chicken parmesan for the family for dinner. I would visit and chat and converse with my customers all day long, visiting with people, meeting people, talking to people. That was my bliss in my business. The challenge, though, is when you have a cafe and a catering business, there's a big part of the business that is nothing to do with other people. It's food preparation, chopping, stirring, dicing, mixing, blanching. After a couple years of doing this business, I realized I never wanted to walk in to my cold walk-in refrigerator ever again. I was feeling dread. And I'm thinking to myself, what am I going to do with my life? I already have this business. This business is doing great, but it's not making me happy anymore. Well, one day this lady walks in my cafe and she walks right up to me and she says, Caterina, thank you so much for the business advice you gave me the last time I was here. My friends, the truth is I do not even remember the conversation. But this one I will never forget because her gratitude literally touched my heart. I felt a pang of bliss in my chest. And in that moment, I felt like I had found it, my thing. I sold my cafe. I finished my master's in counseling psychology, and bing, 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 I opened my business to mentor women to grow their businesses. Well, you know what happens when you have a cafe and you want customers? You turn on the lights, you open the door, and if the sun is shining, bing, 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 people come in all day long. Now, as you know, my friends, when you have your own business as a coach or a consultant or a practitioner, that doesn't work. And so I was trying to figure out what was my thing. And what I'm going to share with you today is that in your business to bliss, there are 5 things that you have to master. Now, the first one, you all know, and hopefully you're all doing this, is speaking. I mean, however, speaking in the broader sense of the word. Carl, I'm sure, would agree with me that podcasting also falls in this space, being a guest on podcasts, having your own podcast, because the idea is that you are the spokesperson for your business, right? I like to say you're the Beyonce of your business. You're the talent of your business. Speaking, podcast guesting, doing videos, all that is on you. That's your job. The next part is selling, speaking, selling. Now, I got to tell you, when I started my business, I didn't have much experience. In fact, I had no experience at selling other than asking people what kind of sandwich they wanted and did they want some pickles with that. I had to start from scratch. But you know what's awesome about speaking is that speaking builds Insta influence. And by the way, let's just sidebar here. Influence is your ability to sway or alter people's thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Isn't that exciting? You can do that. Your speaking, your videos, your podcasts, they all build Insta influence. And then even if you're not masterful yet at selling, you can talk to people and they can say, hey, what do you do? And you can get some sales. But what I want you to recognize, my friends, is that it's not enough just to build influence. You do have to invite people to be your client. And you do have to have not only conversations, but systems to support you. Speaking, selling. Your next one is serving. This is your delivery of your products and services. And you know what? Your job is to underpromise and overdeliver to your clients. And in fact, I just did my big yesterday, it's called Expand Your Fempire, my one-day summit. And I was saying to the attendees, the first sale is not the most important sale. It's the second sale that is the most important sale, because that sale only comes when you underpromised and overdelivered and met the needs of your clients with your first sale. And then your clients keep coming back. Now, do you think that would make you bliss in your business if more of your clients kept coming back? Because let me tell you something. The first sale, sometimes you have to work very diligently to get that first sale. And the reason for that is because not everyone is an Insta client. Even though you can build Insta influence, not everyone is going to Insta get started with you. That's why you need those follow-up systems. But once they're with you, do you know what happens? When you do a great job of serving, they keep coming back. And the conversations are very blissful and very simple. Hey, my friend, you want to be with us again next year? Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, same price? Yeah, same price. In fact, we're going to give you a little extra something because you're a VIP client. You want a 3-month payment plan? You want a 6-month payment? Hey, same credit card? Okay, great. Bing, bing, talk to you next week. That's about how the conversations go when you do a great job of serving your client. Speaking, selling, serving. Your next job is strategy. You're the one, right, who sets the goals, who makes the schedule, who does the plan. That's on you. You can't delegate that to your virtual assistant. She can do the implementation for different things. You could say, hey, every Monday of the year, put this meeting on my calendar. Fine. But you do the strategy. And by the way, my friends, I'm going to shine the spotlight here a little bit, because sometimes as business owners, we are so in action, which is great. But sometimes we're doing the day-to-day things without taking enough time to look at the bigger picture. Every expert you've ever met, live and in person, or through videos or through audios, going all the way back to Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, which I'm sure you've read 10 times, are going to tell you, that's right, Dr. Patricia, they're going to tell you this. You got to take time every day for thinking and planning. Take time every week. Take time every month. Plan today for tomorrow. That's your strategy. Your calendar, though, is your biggest strategy tool. Make sure everything's on your calendar. In fact, right now, it's already November. If I was to say to you, do you have all your goals for next year? You probably would say yes, because I know you're a high achieving group. But what if I said, have you put it all on the calendar? What days are you focusing on sales? When are your free workshops or your low fee workshops or your events? Is it all on there? My friend, if not, run, don't walk to get it all on there now. Speaking, selling, serving, strategy, and the last one, self-care. If you are not having great mental health and great physical health and great emotional health, you are not only not going to be blissing in your business, you're not going to be productive in your business. So now I just told you these 5 areas that are your job, but let me say a little bit more. Not only is it your job to do these things, it's also your job to get everything else off your plate. And let me tell you something. I bet right now, if you were to write down those things that make you not bliss in your business, I bet they wouldn't fall under these 5 things. Let me give you some examples. For example, I cannot stand shipping. I hate it. We just sent out these beautiful boxes. I know some of you may have gotten one if you were with me yesterday. Gold crowns, chocolates, these infographic cards that I do with all these fun sayings on them. I love designing the gift, but I don't like shipping the gift. Fortunately, I have a couple gals that help me whenever it's time for shipping. My on-the-ground assistants. Now, you know what else I can't stand? Email. Hate email. Blah. Too much. And not enough good stuff in there. Fortunately, my virtual assistant helps me. She pins anything important. She gets rid of the rest. What now? Think about your business. What do you not love? Are you fooling around with Canva, trying to be a graphic designer for yourself? Are you, Carl, don't let anybody show you. Are you editing your own podcasts or videos? I hope not, my friends. Okay? What are you doing that's not your job? Bookkeeping, not your job. Well, I've heard clients say to me, "Oh, I'm taking all weekend to do my taxes." Well, guess what? That's what accountants are for. Not your job, sweetheart. And all these things that you're doing that are not your job, guess what else? You're pushing off the mastery in your 5 areas. Think about it. Do you want to be really awesome at speaking? Do you want to be really awesome at selling, where you have a really high close ratio? You talk to 2 people, one of them's ready to get started because you know the questions to ask, because you have your attention on that person and not on yourself because you're talking with confidence. Sales mastery. And here's a little interesting thing about mastery. The closer you get, the more it moves, because there are 25 additional levels of mastery. I've been teaching sales for about 4 years now. You know what? 2 years ago, I thought, wow, I'm really good at this sales thing. Last year, realized I was even better. This year, even better, because it's not just about the conversation. It's about getting the appointments, building the influence, getting clearer and clearer on who's the best person for you to serve. All these levels of mastery you need more and more in each of these 5 areas. But here's the thing. The more mastery you build, the more bliss you're experiencing in your business. So the thing I want you to recognize is every hour you're spending doing all that stuff that's not your job, you're doing two very unfortunate things for your business. You're pushing off more revenue and you're pushing off your mastery. And what I want you to also recognize is that mastery equals bliss. Think about it. Think about what makes you bliss in your business. Serving your clients, speaking, when you are doing your podcasts. These things are very blissful. Now, you probably have all read Malcolm Gladwell's book, Outliers. What does he say in his book about mastery? Does anybody remember? Okay, I'm going to remind you. He says that the research shows that whatever you want to master, it takes 10,000 hours to get to mastery. Now, I've been on the planet a long time. Some of you have been on the planet a long time. I'm still going to tell you that's kind of a depresso number. Would you agree? I mean, that's depresso. I got to do something 10,000 hours. But here's the way I want you to look at it. Every hour in is 1 hour closer to mastery. And the more you're doing all those things that you really don't want to master anyway. I mean, do you want to master any of that stuff you don't like? No, it's not your job. Cut it out and focus on what you want to master. Are you with me, my friends? Yeah. Bing, bing. Okay, let's take a deep breath. Now, in addition to cultivating mastery in these areas, there are a few other things, and we'll probably just get to a couple of them in our time together, that I invite you to shine the spotlight on in your business every day that are not only going to make you bliss, but are also going to be very good for your bottom line. The first one we've discussed is only do what you seek to master. If you did not write that down, if you did not capture that very important guiding principle, do it now. Only do what you seek to master. Second thing, every day, choose bliss. My friend, her name's Anne-Marie. She has a business doing retreats in Italy. And she said to me a couple of years ago, she said, Caterina, I'm going to Italy to look at some locations for my retreats. And I invited myself to go along with her because I thought, going to Italy, would that make me bliss? Yes, it would. So we went to Italy, and pretty soon we found ourselves in Tuscany at this beautiful vineyard with the rolling hills and the beautiful sun-kissed grapes. And we met Laura. She was an Italian woman winemaker. And she invited us for an al fresco, an outdoor wine tasting. Now, I have to tell you, my friends, if you have not done a wine tasting in Italy, it's not like America. You're not standing up at a bar and they give you like a little something. In Italy, you got the abbondanza situation with the homemade olive oil and the artisan cheeses and the salami and the prosciutto and the olives, and it's magnificent. Now, Anne-Marie and I, we are sitting here in the al fresco situation. We are blissing with sipping our wine, and I see this gal walking around, coming towards us, and she's tall and she's got this big smile on her face, and there's this huge group of tourists traveling behind her, walking behind her. And I said to Laura, I said, who's that? And she said, oh, that's the tour guide. And she's leading this group of tourists through Italy, and she's just spent 6 months in India leading tours there. And then she leans over to me and she kind of whispers and she says, she's 75 years old. And I took a deep breath And I looked at her and I looked at how much she was enjoying herself, and I looked at where she was, and I thought to myself, do I want to be running around the world with a group of people when I'm 75? And the answer was absolutely. This is something I do now. I lead retreats for women. We go on cruises. We call them leadership retreats. They're wonderful. And I want to be doing it for a very long time. But in order to be doing it for a very long time, every day I have to choose to do what makes me bliss in my business. Because your burnout that you've ever experienced, or you hear when people are burnt out, do you know why they're burnt out? Because they're not doing their bliss. Think about people you've met or you've come in contact with who had an amazing career with a huge income attached to it, but they didn't like what they were doing. They didn't like their industry. They didn't like their job, and they did it for the paycheck. That's why they burn out. If you're blissing in your business, you're not getting burnt out. I started very early yesterday morning. I went very late last night, and I'm blissing to be with you right now. Why? Because I'm being myself. I'm doing my thing. I'm serving the people I feel called to serve. That is business bliss. So, my friend, I do want you to think about your future and how do you want it to be different. But as you think about how you want it to be different and you think about the goals that you want to set, don't just ask yourself, what do you want? Ask yourself, what's going to make you bliss? And every day, as you're being yourself and you're doing your thing, ask yourself, am I blissing in my business? And how can I bliss more? And I'm going to tell you right now how you can bliss even more. You ready for it? Okay, good. Bing, bing. Here it is. What have we said so far? Only do what you seek to master. Choose bliss every day. Say, you're going to be bliss today. By the way, here's my new mantra. Everything's going my way. Say it with me, my friends. You don't have to unmute. Just say it. Everything's going my way. You cannot have a bad day when you keep saying to yourself, everything's going my way. And that's how today is going for you. I know. Here's the next thing. Every day, choose to uplift others. One day I gave a speech somewhere and I'm driving home and I'm feeling good about the speech and the experience, and I'm blissing in my car on the way home. And I drive by on the highway and I see outlets, fashion outlets. And I got a little time, so I go into the fashion outlets but it starts to rain. So when I walk into the store that I'm looking to walk into, there's nobody in the store because it's starting to really rain. And it's just me and the manager and the sales associate. And I walk around the store. I'm looking at some things. I'm trying on some things. I'm chatting with the ladies. And we're having a lovely visit on this rainy day. And then I pick something to take home with me, and I get to the cash register and I'm chatting again with the manager, and I'm telling her how lovely the store looks and how nice it is to visit with her. And she grabs this box from the side of the counter, big blue box, and she sticks it right in front of us. And she opens the box, and there's about 50 pairs of fancy necklaces, earrings and necklaces. And she says to me, Caterina, she knew my name because we had been visiting. Caterina, grab something from this box that you like, because you know what? Headquarters called me. They told me to take it off the floor, send it back to them. They're not going to sell it. Pick something. Now, I thought this was so nice. She's being generous with me, probably because we've been visiting, and I was blissing. Because, by the way, I am an image enthusiast. I said to her, thank you. I said thank you 5 times. And then I said to her, in a couple weeks, I'm taking some gals on a cruise. And I'm wondering if you have any items like this in the store that I could purchase, because remember, it was an outlet store, so I knew there was going to be VIP discount, to give them as prizes. And she looks at me, and I see her smile get way bigger, and she pushes the whole box towards me. And she says, Caterina, take it all. Take it all for your ladies. And her smile was so big. And of course, I thanked her profusely. And as I'm driving home down the highway with my big blue box of jewelry loot, I'm thinking to myself, why did she do this? And here's why. Because this woman who worked in retail felt seen, heard, valued, appreciated, acknowledged just from our brief interaction. And I have a very simple tool that I'm going to share with you right now that I invite you to use every time you're talking to anybody. Anybody from your Uber driver to the person on the phone when you're booking an appointment. My mailman, his name is Antonio. I've got his cell phone number. I call him anytime. I need some extra boxes. Can you come? I got some boxes we're shipping, whatever I need. You know why? Because he always gets uplifted, and I'm always uplifted every time he comes to the door. Here it is. If you have a post note, grab a post note. Take a deep breath. I want you to write on that post note 3 words. Do, be, an impact. Do, be, an impact. I could say to my friend LaDonna, I could say, LaDonna, thank you so much for inviting me to come and speak today. Now, that's an acknowledgement. That's a thank you acknowledgement for something she's done. Okay, but that's pretty basic, and you all are an advanced group. I could say, LaDonna, thank you for your enthusiastic invitation in inviting me to come today. That's not just what she did, but that's how she was being while she did it. And that has people feel more seen. Would you agree, my friend? Yes. But that's still not where I want you to be. I want you to be at the pièce de résistance of acknowledgement. Not just what they did, not just how they're being, but how it impacted you. If I say, LaDonna, thank you for your enthusiastic invitation. You warmed my heart. You made me feel so good with your invitation. That is what I'm wanting you to upgrade to every day, all day, with everyone you come in contact with. And my desire is that you go from consciously focusing on this to having it be unconscious that you're masterful at it. You know, when I used to have my cafe, I got so good at learning everybody's names because they would come in all day long and I would learn everybody's name. It was easy. They came in every day. So I had a lot of practice. And now, even 30 years later, I go somewhere and I remember everybody's name. Unconscious competent. I want you to get unconsciously competent with mastering the art of acknowledgement. Do, be, impact. Let's take a deep breath. The more you uplift others, here's the exciting thing that happens. The more you're uplifted too. I'm sure you're familiar with the Institute of Heart Math that has measured all of what happens to our heart, our physical heart in different situations. And do you know what they found? That when somebody acknowledges you or says a compliment to you or expresses kind, loving words to you, do you know what happens? The energy of your heart literally, I want to say bursts, but it doesn't really burst. It expands to 3 times where it normally is, meaning your vitality gets 3 times bigger when someone acknowledges you or gives you kind or loving words. Bing, bing. Isn't that exciting? But here's the even other exciting part. When you do it for someone else, the same thing happens for you. So if we want to talk about blissing in your business, blissing in your life, we can't talk about it without you bringing your bliss and love and kindness and acknowledgement to other people, because that will also make you bliss more in your business and your life. I'm sure you know, because this is a very smart group, who the happiest people in the world are. The happiest people in the world. One of my other favorite books is 100 Simple Secrets of Happy People by Dr. David Niven. Happiest people in the world. Richest people? No. Married people? No. People that are at their ideal weight? No. Happiest people in the world are people that volunteer, people that give generously of their time to uplift others. My friends, I'm here today to support you to bliss more in your business. I'm putting in the chat, if you would like to join me for my next free workshop to have you bliss more with your sales. It's from contacts to clients quickly. I'm doing it twice in December. Also, I have an amazing podcast called Expand Your Fempire. We've recorded over 150 episodes. They are info-packed. We also have an app, and there's a link to my free resources. Thank you, my friends. My privilege to be with you.
That was extremely awesome and right on time, Caterina. It was like you just knew it. It had to end. So awesome job. So many great ideas. Who has a question for Caterina? All right, Carl, I know you have something to say to Caterina.
Oh, Caterina, you're spot on. It's just everything you said, it was resonating with me 100%. Especially with the speaking piece. That's a huge piece. So thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Love your energy. I love your energy. That's right.
Thank you, Dr. Pat. A very nice.
You can't deliver if you don't feel it yourself. Yeah. I love it.
Kamal?
Yeah, I just gonna say I love it. Great job, and thank you for on that piece of the impression of increase and making everybody feeling uplifted, and so they can leave with it. Make it a habit. Make it part of you that's what you do. That's what you become, and it all comes back. It's the boomerang effect. So amazing, Caterina. Love the talk. You're just incredible. I look forward to listening to your podcast. That's awesome.
Thank you, Kamal. Thank you so much.
Proud of you.